We're in conversation with Stefan Mergenthaler, the Managing Director and Chief Technology Officer of the World Economic Forum, someone who plays a key role in the tech part of WEF, which is huge, considering this is such a humongous event. Stefan, thank you for talking to us. Now, while a lot of attention is on President Trump's visit this time around, take us through what kind of prep happens at the back end, when does it start, how many people are involved in the whole operation?
Well, thank you. It's a real pleasure to join you for this as we kick off our 56th annual meeting in Davos. We've done that now for 56 years, but of course, in recent years, technology is ever more central to this. In fact, maybe if I can provide a little bit of context, technology has always been the DNA of the World Economic Forum. We have started already in the 80s to have electronic messaging between our participants. And we always look to technology to enhance the experience of our participants. And so this is quite a big effort. We set up everything from the networks of secure networks in the facilities to ensure our participants can seamlessly navigate the thousands of different participants, can network with them. And now for the first time we have an AI agent that you can use to set up your bilateral meetings, find the right sessions for you, and navigate this biggest ever annual meeting we've had.
In fact, I was just coming to that. How has AI changed everything? I saw some hoarding that said, an agent, Emma or Eva or some Eva. So how has that changed? And has Eva got things right, or is it mixing up meetings?
So this is our effort really now with the advent of agentic AI to operate really like a fully agentic enterprise. We have AI agents that work alongside our staff in preparing this meeting and setting agendas. And Eva is our events virtual assistant. It's an intelligent AI agent that can take actions on behalf of our participants. And it's fairly accurate. I think it's a very, very good illustration of what agentic and AI can do today. It of course builds on a strong integrated data foundation that we have in the back end. And so we're pretty proud of the results, and I look forward to the feedback from participants.
Right. In terms of the productivity gains that you are seeing from AI, is it substantial? Is it still in a proof of concept stage? And how long before humanoids are really good at, say, managing the forum? Do you think that is a possibility in the coming years?
Well, maybe just to start with this one, I think for us, the human interaction is essential here in Davos. So to answer that part, I don't see this to be a meeting of humanoid robots, right? This is about establishing the human connections, be a platform for different stakeholders that can come together, understand what's happening in the world, including in the world of technology and AI, and move forward together. But of course, now for several years we've had AI at the heart of the discussions here in Davos, and what I see is really a shift now into looking at AI through the lens of practical applications. Mm-hmm. And here we see a little bit of a paradox, because on the one hand we see the amazing capabilities of these models. And we see how we can deploy them in a very productive way. But to do that at scale within established companies across sectors, right, to really unlock that significant impact potential that AI has, that means fundamentally reviewing workflows, redesigning how organizations work, built around the capabilities of these models. And that's something that's hard to do, frankly, for many organizations. It's something that many organizations are struggling with. And that's really the core focus of our work with our communities. Center for AI Excellence, where we want to identify the most transformative use cases, the most transformative applications in different sectors, different companies around the world, and help others learn from that in order to accelerate that adoption and ultimately the productivity and welfare gains that we expect to see from this technology.
Right. I also wanted to understand from you, if you look at emerging markets like India, they're also scaling AI rapidly. What do you think, could be the biggest governance or execution risk that one must be cognizant of?
Yeah, so in the first instance, I think scaling AI rapidly is what we should all be doing right now. I think there is a real we can see, as I said, the potential of these models, and they're getting better and better. So learning how to best embed that into organizations, that's really what everyone should be doing at this moment. Now, when it comes to risks or preparedness, I think it's also important to acknowledge that we need the kind of organizational capabilities to deploy those models responsibly in organizations. That requires understanding how they work, understanding the risks of different levels. Not every application is the same in this regard. It depends on the level of autonomy of these AI agents. Are they just making recommendations, or are they acting? How severe are some of the consequences of those actions? So really understanding the context in which we're deploying that's essential for the preparedness.
Right. I also want to understand, Stefan, we also live in a very geo-economic fragmented world, so to speak. Even today we saw, Trump announcing tariffs on 8 European nations. They hit back. And AI is something that's also become very important from a security and a geopolitical perspective. What does all this mean for the future of AI, the geoeconomics around it?
Yeah, fragmentation is a real concern, not just because, of course, there's a risk that it slows down the innovation, but there's also, of course, a concern that because of the fragmentation, countries build duplicate infrastructure. There's a concern about the energy impact of all of this. But the real focus, as we just discussed before, is on truly understanding within different sectors the areas where we can reap the most benefits, and the more we can understand successful use cases wherever they take place, we see a real thirst from companies around the world, regardless of that fragmentation that you talked about, but a real thirst in understanding how to deploy in a meaningful and transformative way AI across different sectors.
Right. I also want to end by asking you, looking back, say 5 years from now, what do you think policymakers and CEOs at Davos 2026 will regret not taking seriously enough about AI?
Yeah, it's a really interesting question, because we talk a lot about, of course, the need for companies to deploy AI for productivity, for growth and new value creation. But there's also a massive potential for deploying AI in the public sector, to making governments more efficient. That's, I think, an area that we've worked a lot on, raising more visibility on the overall public impact of deploying technology and AI across the public sector. We see some very interesting examples, including in India, the strong investment in digital public infrastructure. But we would hope to see more of that in countries around the world.
Great. On that note, Stefan, thank you very much for talking to Moneycontrol.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
You, and all the very best for a very successful event.
Thank you.